Is it so tense, in particular this time? Is it because of the opposition staying away from the race, or the general consensus that this is another rigged election?
Thank you for having me here. I would say the violence is not that much this time, because it's violence between the ruling party, that is called Awami League, and their backed independent candidates. So we have I want to give you the official figure that I received from the police headquarters, that more than 380 incidents that took place just 15 days since the ruling party and their like-minded opposition independent candidate started their formal election campaigning. So in those cases, more than 300 and nearly 400 people were injured, according to the police report, and 57 people were arrested, mostly Awami League leaders and activists, and 6 people were killed during this period. So this is deadly than of other months we have seen, since the opposition and the ruling Awami League has been running the campaigning before the formal announcement of the schedule for the election that is going to happen in 7th of this month.
Celine, you've dismissed BNP boycott as an attempt to undermine the elections, but they are saying that the reason why they're staying out is because there are no guarantees this is going to be fair and free.
Thank you, everybody, and good evening. Look, no one is going to give any guarantee. The Election Commission is an independent body. Election Commission is asking every political parties to participate in the election. Awami League, as a political party, intend to participate in the election. And BNP, on the other hand, they're saying they don't want to participate in the election because they're saying the election system. They don't believe in the election system. They don't believe in the constitutional system. They want to bring back something which is unconstitutional. And they're saying that we don't want to go to the election unless the unconstitutional system bringing back to the country again. So Election Commission, League and other political parties, we are saying, no, we are going to hold the election under the present constitutional system. Simple is that. And Election Commission asking every political parties to participate in the election. So Awami League as a political party participate in the election. And on next 7th January, the election is going to happen. And the people of this country is going to attend the election. They are going to participate in the election. They are going to vote there. They're going to vote. And as usual, the winning guy is going to be the MP. And then they are going to decide who is going to be the Prime Minister. And in that scenario, BNP is saying the Awami League and their dummy candidate and this and that is going to participate in the election. So election is not going to be in that force. So they are saying something which is not accepting the people.
Okay,
People are not accepting what they're saying because they.
Well, if you don't mind, because we have Romin here from the BNP who should be giving us the party's perspective. Romin, you decided not to take part. You participated in 2014. Then you decided you boycotted 2014. You participated in 2018, and now you said we're not taking part in the 2024. For many, this is just an evasive attempt by the BNP, given that they know this is going to be sealed by Awami League.
Thank you so much and good evening. The election that is going to be held on 7th of this month is not an election at all. It's a preset design. It's a drama that will be staged by the government on 7th. It's basically an election between the person nominated from Awami League versus the independent candidate of Awami League versus the Awami League supported Jatiya Party candidate versus the Awami League alliance candidate, etc., etc., etc. So whoever you vote, you at the end of the day, you are voting for Awami League. So that is the reason why we are not participating in the election. And as of today, we have 11 elections in total. And out of those 11 elections, only 4 elections were accepted by all the parties. And those 4 were held under caretaker government. The caretaker government was the result of Awami League movement in 1996, and it was incorporated in the constitution through our 13th amendment by BNP, and it was based on national consensus. Everybody accepted it as the correct form of running the election. But when Awami League came in power in 2008, for the reason best known to them, they just removed the article of caretaker government from the constitution, and they are running the show after that in their own way so that they can renew their power every 5 years. In 2014, we didn't participate in the election because at that time it was very clear to us that the election will not be a free and fair one. Into 2018, we got assurance from the Prime Minister herself. She said, "Keep faith on me. I am daughter of Bangabandhu. I am not going to rig the election." So we trusted her. We participated in the election, and more than 50 candidates of BNP were personally injured, physically injured.
Okay, Muqtada, you've just heard what Romeen has been saying. Is it legitimate demand to say now that we should have had a neutral caretaker government to oversee the election as the sole guarantee that this was going to be?
Activists, we speak to our grassroots level people. They all say, please don't be a part of this farce. And just to let you know that Jatiya Party, which is contesting the election to be the main opposition party in the parliament, most of the candidates are withdrawing from this election. They say that there is no level playing field, the voters are being scared to come to the election, there is violence, and they are not being able to, sustain. So they withdraw their candidacy.
Okay.
Only 26 seats has already been confirmed from the government, and in those 26 seats, the government didn't place any nominated candidate. I mean, the Awami League didn't place any nominated candidate, and in those seats, probably they are going to win. But still, we don't know because so much violence is going on.
I have a few other angles to cover with you. Muqtada, a little bit of perspective for our international audience. Khalida Zia of the BNP versus Sheikh Hasina of Awami League. It's the same deep-seated animosity that has battered, beset political life in Bangladesh for decades, particularly the fight between the two main political parties, the Socialist Secular Awami League, founded in 1949, the Conservative Nationals, BNP, founded in 1977. Is Bangladesh meant to keep paying the price of the same political animosity that has been there for years?
I think it will be very complicated to predict the days coming ahead, and it's very complicated because you see the Awami League has its own popularity and among the supporters and beneficiaries, but the BNP is now a very mature political party by this time after suffering so many of human rights abuse, enforced disappearance, extrajudicial killings, and so you are comparing in a different spectrum of this political dynamics. But what we understand, we are seeing the dying political environment in Bangladesh. The Bangladesh, it has been long tradition in Bangladesh that the political parties, the festivity and everything. But we are seeing it's different discourse, and which is really unexpected in terms of political thinking and political environment. And with that, the crisis is there that democracy will be affected, and of course, of expression that will affect our, I don't know.
That we should have had a neutral caretaker government to oversee the election as the sole guarantee that this was going to be fair and free.
If you look at the statistics, what we received from the political party, both of the political parties, like BNP said, it's more than 25,000 people were arrested since October 28 after violence broke out during a peaceful rally in Dhaka, and the ruling party says it's not 25,000, it's only 11,000. And if you see the top leaders, including Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir and others who are no policymakers, they are behind the bar, and those who are not, they are exiled either in UK or Malaysia and elsewhere. And those are remaining, they are not the policymaker of this party. And another thing is important that we are not getting any official statistics from the government itself. Given this context in the mind, we are having an election. And you see that I talked to a barber today, and he was asking me, why don't you go back your home and cast your vote? He said, look, election is always fixed, and I don't find this election is any festivity, and nothing is here. And many analysts say that this election is, if you compare the election, then U.S. election without Republican or Democrats. So this is the kind of election we are having right at this point. So we definitely need I'm not saying, and I don't want to say that what Awami League is saying and what BNP is saying, but as a voter, I really want to vote in a free, fair manner that I'm not getting here. And I spoke to hundreds of people over the weeks, and they said, no, it is not the environment in which I can vote or choose my leader.
Salim, you've just heard what both Muqtada and Romeen have been saying. Now, if you seem to be pretty much confident your party has the hearts and minds of Bangladeshi peoples, but you see that there is an atmosphere of polarization and mistrust. Why didn't you reinstate the article that paves the way for a neutral, independent, non-partisan government that would take over to oversee the election? And the moment you win, you would have the ultimate justification and legitimacy that you won a free and fair election.
The question we're discussing here today about how you're going to handle the next election, and everybody like Romeen and other one, Muqtada is saying to reinstate neutral government, caretaker government, which is mostly trusted people. The thing is, caretaker government or neutral government, this is completely party, which was unconstitutional. And then it became unconstitutional. Now we're looking forward how our election commission, we can strengthen them. So we asked BNP and other political parties suggestions to how we can strengthen the election commission so they can trust on that, and we can do our election on. We want to bring back a complete system.
You know what's the problem with your argument? You're talking about laws as if they were sacred. It was the Awami League which abolished the practice of having a caretaker government, saying that the caretaker government back then was colluding with the military establishment to expand their influence. So it was a politically motivated decision. Now, it's up to the people of Bangladesh to say what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad for them. Now, if you're really honest about the idea of competing freely and fairly with people, why wouldn't you just trigger the same policy? And therefore, when you win, people will say, well, you deserve it, you own it. You don't seem to be really convincing to me, Salim, when you're talking to me about the need to maintain something as if it was really sacred.
Look, this is what you were saying and our other political parties, they're saying. But the thing is, we cannot go back to the system. BNP should participate in the election and fight it. And then they can say that this election is rigged, we can trust on that, we don't trust on election commission, we don't trust on bureaucracy, We don't trust in law enforcement agencies. They don't trust no one. So what Awami League can do? Awami League is a political party. Awami League will participate in the election. An election commission is going to hold the election. So this is why I'm saying, if they do have any kind of sort of suggestions, how the election commission can be strengthened, and the election commission, how they hold a free and fair election.
Romy,
That's the thing.
Romy, let me just go to Romy for a second. Romy, do you understand that by choosing not to take part in the election, you are basically sending the message that from now onwards, any decision is going to be out of the constitutional framework? Because the options will be very small for you. You go to the streets, violence will kick in, and therefore there will be no democratic way out for you in the future unless you decide with wisdom. It is in the benefit of Bangladesh to be part of the political establishment and part of the elections.
Do you really believe that for the benefit of this country and for the sake of the people, we should participate in an election which is mostly known as dummy election, which is mostly known as a farcical sham election? There is no point because people, it has already predetermined who's going to form the government, who's going to be the prime minister, who's going to be in the opposition. If you want to know, I have a list of names who has already been confirmed to be the member of parliament. If you want to offer me the names, I can do so. But I don't think that will be very nice. But we all have those messages, you know. So what's the point of participating in an election where we all know that who's going to win from which seat? So I don't think that this mockery will